What's going on YouTube? Welcome to a new episode. And we're benching here. So this is during the holiday season, colder months, and we're finally catching up to the new year. So it's taking some time, but we're here going through again the same exercises, same motions, and just having a good time in the gym here. And honestly, the cold weather, hit or miss with the training. It's getting better, as it's warming up. I think honestly, just getting into pre-warm-up set, just being able to walk in warm, ready to go is something that's super beneficial for me and for everyone else too who works out. Just one less thing to have to worry about to get you started. And ultimately, the more comfortable you feel, the better you're going to perform. And so sometimes when you walk in cold, it takes a little bit. You might waste some time. You might want to, you know, procrastinate from lifting just until you start going. Once you're in there, it's great though, and it feels great though. So yeah, shoulder issue was bothering me here, so was not able to go as heavy as I wanted to. So just drop back down and hit, sets with weights that are more doable. Again, you don't always have to hit the weights that you need to hit. You can work in that same threshold and range and adjust. It's just kind of a idea of where you want to be, and just kind of a range or something to scope out so you kind of know what to hit. So yeah, I learned my lesson stretching that way out that I did. I used to do a lot of band dislocations. You can actually see the orange band right there. And I usually will do them in front and then overhead and then in back. And the one in back is the one that upset something in my shoulder not too long ago. So again, that was on me. I tried to, go back into a range of motion on the injured arm that I shouldn't have. And I paid the price for it. So yeah, ease into things, work up to it, take your time. And when you can't hit what you hit, do something in the interim, that hits that frame set. That's I can't even talk correctly here. Jeez, that same threshold or intensity, and things will end up being a lot better for you. So, at least for me, I like to be able to consistently train, and so when I start adding in different things, I got to learn to scale back and then work back up. Like I said before, my body just adapts really weird. So that means either if I'm not doing anything, I adapt to not doing anything. And if I do a lot of stuff, it adapts to doing a lot of stuff. So you just have to figure out, what the goal is here and what's better for you long term. And again, if you don't need the extra mobility stuff, I wouldn't recommend doing it. As long as you can do full range of motion with whatever exercise you're doing, I think you're going to be in a good spot. And anytime you get this idea in your head that you need to increase flexibility, mobility by doing something crazy, and that's when stuff like that happens. And I keep learning the lesson myself because in my head, I'm always trying to push ahead, do more. If I do one exercise well, I want to add more weight to more reps. And it can be a learning experience, to say the least, to be able to know when to stop and push back. Obviously, we all have a certain threshold of what we can do. And we do want to push it. We do want to do more because if we think we can do more weight, more reps, or whatever, then we'll get to our goals faster, which isn't always the case. Again, body doesn't understand weights, pounds, kilograms, or anything. It understands tension and stress. So if you increase the tension and stress, body has to adapt. You get bigger, you get stronger, or you get injured. So you got to apply those correctly. So same thing, for any lift that you're doing. SSB here. And this was an early morning lift from what I remember. And I'm not a morning person. I usually like to get a few meals in. Just don't feel like I'm at my full capacity until, I'm up for a bit. And again, depending on when you sleep and wake up, that's what that all applies to. If you have somebody who has a reverse schedule, like maybe they work PMs and they sleep during the AM, then they may perform better at night than in the day. So it just depends on whatever your lifestyle is, how you train, when you train, and kind of the stuff that you're doing. So I'm always tempered when I train in the morning because I know, okay, don't have a lot of food in me, body's kind of weird. I just don't have my full capacity yet. So taking things in stride and trying to take advantage of the early days so you've got more time and kind of going from there too. So yeah, just super slow on these squats. I think I trained this workout fasted, or I may have had just like a quick snack bar or something. But usually with workouts like this, you go to eat after and then it's there. But I have noticed that after my workouts, I'm always tired though, so it just works better for me when I work out in the evening. Go to bed tired, have a nice rest, and then go from there. So I think I felt fatigued earlier in the day after this, but I don't know. I'm like recording this now, and I don't know if time's moving slow, but I feel like this is taking forever to get to my sets. So I don't know. Probably just sitting here and recording all these videos and everything. So yeah, just taking it easy here, hitting my sets, and then moving on from there. Squatting and deadlifting in the same workout is already hard. And when you've got no food in your system or whatever, you just gotta kind of go through. But that's why we train. One day where you train earlier is not going to ruin, the rest of your training cycle. So you just have to adapt. And as long as I sleep well, to me, that's a big component of recovery. And so, again, always something that I can do, and just with the flexibility of like work and everything. So, but yeah, I feel like time is standing still, and I'm watching this. I'm like waiting, like, what are we waiting for? Let's go, move faster. So I don't know. I guess I was moving slow in real time too. So I don't know. We're just gonna sit through this as I get done, because man, usually I squat faster than this. So I don't know. Let's get a new movement. There we go. Sumo deadlifts. So deadlifts are always fun. It's always fun to move more weight, and just, in my opinion, way cooler than a squat. Ripping weight from a floor, you don't need that much equipment. Pretty simple movement. And again, just various angles, because a lot of people like to train in the morning. So 495 here again. I kind of, at least for right now, this is on the higher end of training, but I'm kind of stepping back from the heavy stuff until we can get back to where we need to be. So works out for me. And just do these slow and controlled. And the squats will definitely help you warm up. I tend to find if I do those first, it kind of transitions over. But yeah, we're just conglomeration of all the lifts here. Chest and shoulders again. So this is back in the evening. Those days I trained were in earlier in the day, just for the holiday. So ideally, I'm somebody who likes to train, in the afternoon. I don't mind training in the evening or nights. It's not too difficult for myself. I like showering after the gym, so if it lines up at night, it's pretty good too. But I just have more energy, more pop, feel more comfortable when I'm training in the evening. So for most people, that's like after work. So it just works out pretty well. And honestly, I feel like the weights move a lot better compared to in the morning, where if you've ever woken up, you still have that weakness in your body. It takes a couple hours to get back to where you were. So still just nursing, the little injury with the shoulder and taking things in stride here. So I don't think I went too heavy. 295, just to kind of see where I'm at. Singles, no rep work at the upper echelon of weights, just because I feel like it's not it's not worth the risk. So I just did singles with 295, and then back offs for the weights, or the rep range I was supposed to hit. So I just went down to 265. And you can always tell when I have a shoulder issue when there's an issue on the control going down. So it's a strange feeling for me. I definitely notice it when I'm more smooth and controlled with the barbell. That's when I know I'm on point, I'm in a good spot. And then I actually dropped the weight on the dumbbells a little bit here, just to not stress myself as much. Shoulder was still a little tender, so just kind of going from there. And just basically doing, getting reps there, keeping the movement so that when I do come back and I am healed, I've still got, the muscle conditioning of doing the weights, and then also the stimulus to the CNS, so it's not like a whole new movement, like I mentioned before. But basically, that's exactly what the whole goal was, is just to cut back a little bit, let myself heal, and then work back up. You learn these lessons. Again, I'd probably be in a way better spot had I not done that stretching. And there is an overuse to stretching depending on what your body's doing, especially if you're not adapted to it. So you just have to figure it out for yourself. Do things that make sense. Don't do extreme stuff if you've never done the basics. So Just a lot of pump stuff that you can do. So I love cable flies. I love different angles of doing them. You know, just ultimate chest builder for going across. Obviously, your bench is important for strength and stuff, but you're not going to get a contraction or pump like you would on a cable exercise or on a barbell exercise like you would a cable. So again, mix of both. Do your strength, do your bodybuilding. Then you get the best of both worlds, and then you can not complain about stuff. That's the fun part in all this. Sometimes you may struggle with one exercise, one motion, or whatever, and it's a little bit easy to just drop off altogether. But if you have alternatives, you can kind of go from there. OHP as usual. Always do an overhead press to make sure that we're staying nice and strong, nice and controlled. And I did these beltless, so beltless is starting to come back. I just feel better doing them that way. Adapted, changed, and went from there. So again, multiple sets, and then throw on the belt here. Anytime I start to feel that bit of discomfort, I will move to the belt. But obviously, mixing in sets where you're beltless is just a good way to train and keep yourself prepared. And then use the belt when needed. It's always good to have options to push you through. And stayed with the belt and just kind of kept going here. So I love OHP. I'm glad it's back, and I can't wait to put more weight up overhead because one of my favorite movements, probably second favorite to deadlifts. And yeah, that's the workout. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff. And you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.